boycotting the upcoming World Cup games in the U.S. The local World Cup committee has been expecting hundreds of thousands of visitors to travel to the Metro when the matches kick off in 5 months.
Calls are growing louder in the United Kingdom for England and Scotland to boycott the 2026 FIFA World Cup that is set to be co-hosted by the United States in months from now.
The German politician Jürgen Hart, a member of the Christian Democratic Union, has raised the idea of a potential World Cup boycott in a German newspaper.
Welcome back. Good to see you again. The countdown to the 2026 FIFA World Cup was supposed to be a celebration of scale, unity, and the unstoppable growth of global football. Instead, what was once marketed as the biggest and most profitable tournament in history is now facing an unexpected wave of uncertainty. Behind the scenes, conversations are shifting, alliances are being tested, and a question that once seemed unthinkable is now being openly discussed. What happens if major nations decide not to show up? For years, FIFA presented the 2026 tournament as a groundbreaking moment. With matches spread across the United States, Canada, and Mexico, and an expanded format featuring 48 teams, everything pointed toward record-breaking revenue, global viewership, and unmatched commercial success. Sponsors invested billions. Broadcasters locked in massive deals. Fans across the world prepared for what was expected to be the ultimate football spectacle. But that narrative has started to crack. What changed everything was not a dramatic protest or an official boycott announcement. Instead, it began with quiet but powerful remarks from within European football, particularly from Germany. When voices inside the German football establishment suggested that participation in the World Cup should not be automatically guaranteed, it sent shockwaves through the sport. This was not emotional rhetoric. It was calculated, measured, and deeply significant. Germany is not just another team. It is one of football's most influential forces, both on and off the pitch. With a rich history, global fan base, and consistent presence at the highest level, its participation is a cornerstone of the World Cup's commercial and competitive appeal. Remove a nation like Germany from the equation, and the entire structure begins to look different. And Germany is not alone. Across Europe, similar discussions are beginning to surface. In the United Kingdom, debates about whether England and Scotland should consider a boycott are gaining traction. Denmark has acknowledged concerns surrounding the tournament, while officials in France have avoided committing to unconditional participation. What was once a fringe idea is quickly entering mainstream conversation. The implications are massive. Broadcasting deals tied to the World Cup rely heavily on the presence of top-tier teams. Matches involving European giants consistently draw some of the highest viewership numbers globally. Advertisers plan entire campaigns around these fixtures. Sponsors invest based on expected global reach. If key nations withdraw or even hint at doing so, the financial model supporting the tournament begins to weaken. And then there's the political dimension. Football has long claimed to exist above politics, but reality tells a different story. From historical Olympic boycotts like the 1980 Moscow Olympics boycott to modern-day geopolitical tensions, global events have always influenced sport. Now, the same pressures are creeping into football in a more visible way. Concerns about travel, visa policies, and diplomatic tensions have added another layer of complexity. The United States, as the primary host, finds itself under particular scrutiny. Questions about immigration rules, entry requirements, and political rhetoric have raised doubts about whether all fans and teams will feel equally welcomed. Even influential figures from football's past are weighing in. Sepp Blatter has voiced concerns about travel uncertainties, suggesting that fans and even teams should think carefully about potential risks. While he no longer holds official power, his words still carry influence within the football world. And for fans, this is where it becomes real. Supporters from various countries are already facing uncertainty when it comes to travel planning. Visa complications, diplomatic restrictions, and shifting policies create barriers that go against the very spirit of the World Cup, a tournament built on global inclusion and unity. For many fans who save for years just to attend one match, even the possibility of being denied entry is enough to create hesitation. Meanwhile, co-hosts Canada and Mexico are taking a different approach. Both nations are focusing on stability, preparation, and hospitality. Rather than engaging in political debates, they are positioning themselves as reliable and welcoming hosts. In a time of uncertainty, that message carries weight. But the bigger picture cannot be ignored. What is happening right now is more than just a debate about one tournament. It is a reflection of a changing world where sport and politics are becoming increasingly intertwined. The idea that football can remain completely separate from global events is becoming harder to defend. For FIFA, this presents a serious challenge. Maintaining the image of neutrality while navigating real-world tensions requires a delicate balance. Publicly, the organization continues to promote unity and cooperation. Privately, however, the stakes are enormous. Billions of dollars, global reputation, and the future of international tournaments are all on the line. The most important shift, however, is psychological. Once the idea of a boycott enters the conversation, it changes everything. Participation is no longer seen as automatic. It becomes conditional. National associations begin to realize their influence, not just as competitors, but as stakeholders capable of shaping the direction of global sport. And that is where things stand today. No major nation has officially withdrawn. The tournament is still on track. Stadiums are being prepared, schedules are being finalized, and millions of fans are still planning to watch. But beneath the surface, uncertainty continues to grow. The 2026 World Cup was meant to symbolize expansion, unity, and the future of football. Instead, it is becoming a test of how the sport adapts to a world where political realities cannot be ignored. The question now is simple but powerful. Will football remain just a game, or has it become something much bigger? Because the answer to that question will not only shape the future of the 2026 World Cup, it will define the future of global sport itself. Thanks for watching Scharlet Drive, and see you next time. Share your experiences and opinions in the comments below. If you found this discussion enlightening, don't forget to subscribe to Scharlet Drive for the latest news and insights.